All that. We have guns, a lot of guns. Is anybody singing? Are they singing in there? Welcome to the Fresh Produce Podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
It's another episode of Florida.
Another episode.
History. Crazy street stories.
In the woods too, though. In the wilderness as well.
In the wilderness?
You said in the streets, crazy street stories,
yeah.
But like in the woods and in nature as well.
There's like a gang of bears that like just roam crazy North Florida.
Black bears.
Crazy black bears. Take out trash.
Just like bump it over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then they get upset because we live in the wilderness.
They stand upright.
Sometimes when they walk, they look fake when they do that.
Yeah, it's
look
crazy.
Like some dude in a suit.
Humans and animals, just all of the species on Earth have evolved because of society, right?
Mm-hmm.
Society affects us,
mm-hmm.
and this causes us to change and adapt to our environment.
Got to.
So bears walk upright.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
So they can get into things that are higher or into the trash cans, which are taller these days. Little evolved. Did they not do that before? I think they did before to scratch your back, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all about adapting.
That's probably evolving too, right? They needed to scratch your back or adapting, like you said.
Do you think if the world gets crazier, you should adapt in a positive or negative way? Or is there even a negative or positive when it comes to adapting? Here's the real question.
Sure, it's the negative, positive, and adapting. But if you're talking about surviving, then, I mean, it's still a negative and positive, but survival is the number one goal, right?
If you wake up with murder on your mind, should you always have guns?
No.
No?
No.
But what if you feel like you need protection?
When you say if you wake up with murder on your mind, then you got some sort of like issue that you need to get worked out, whether it be therapy or meditation or not drugs, but whatever it needs.
What if the environment, though, you grow up in an area that's like everybody's killing each other,
mm-hmm.
everybody's trying to scam each other,
mm-hmm.
you know, you feel like you need protection, you know,
right.
You're influenced by music, you're
mm-hmm.
influenced by your friends, you're influenced by your parents, you're
mm-hmm.
influenced by all these things.
Should I have a gun on me?
Yeah.
If I needed to survive, yeah. If I gotta if I go outside the door and, you know, 4 days out of the week I'm fine, but that fifth day, 1 day out of 5 days, something crazy always happens. You know, you got to do what you got to. Again, survival is the number one goal, I guess, as humans.
Self-preservation.
So
should that be included? Like it is in a sense, in the criminal justice system, you can plead self-defense sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
especially in Florida. Florida's big. Stand your ground. Castle law.
You think stand your ground applies to like? How I'm gonna just bring it straight down the board. If you're white and black, do you think you look at stand your ground the same?
Do I, or does society?
What do you think on both sides?
I do, but I mean, I think we've established thus far. I try to stay away from labels of black people, white people, Asian people, as far as like deciding how they're gonna act or how I should feel about them. You know what I mean? I try to do that. Now, society, no, not at all. There's no nuance to society when it comes to that stuff. When you see a white person say something and you see a black person say something, and you know, the system, whoever they are, that's how they look at it, is like, you know, because you see all the time, like there was one bus driver here in Florida. I think it's here in Florida. Bus driver rapes 14-year-old girl, statutory rape, because she came over, but provided her with alcohol, yada yada yada. Probation he got.
She was 14?
14. White guy. Now this other guy, you got, there's just so many stories. Some lady, like, you know, because, well, you don't know, but your kid goes to a certain school zone, but you can like have them go to other school zones if you want to, in certain states. In this state, I forgot what it was. It wasn't allowed. So she used the address of her cousin or her coworker, which was in the school zone she wanted. Somehow was found out. Went to jail for putting her kids in the wrong school zone.
So
Black lady.
if you let's say you're you don't financially you're not equipped to make a get up and go situation if you're raised in an environment
Mm-hmm.
and everything around it like I would like we're talking about is producing this PTSD, this anxiety of having to protect yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, let's bring and you have a stigma because of who you are as a young person in society. I'd even say Spanish, white, and black. If you're young and you got tattoos on your face and you're into a certain thing, and you go to defend yourself, right, in a situation, I think you're gonna think twice with because you're smart enough, right? Or maybe you're not smart enough. What I'm basically saying is that when you condition an individual to think a certain way and they react in a way that's not supposed to be the right way, like in a self defense situation, right? Somebody attacks me, I shoot them, but because I have this criminal element and vibe around me, I'm not gonna call the cops because I'm maybe in the back of my mind, I'm not gonna be able to get away with this stand your ground thing because of who I am. So it goes into account of the psychology of somebody, you know,
Yeah.
that wakes up with murder on their mind.
They
They're
get in.
automatically thinking it's a premeditation to an extent, right?
Yeah,
Where you're like
not specific to whatever
it's like a soldier in
person.
war.
It is. It definitely is like a soldier in war. Like I agree with that 100% because you got a lot of bad shit happen outside that door. You don't know what's around the next corner. You just don't.
And it's like
People. This kid. Recently. Nice kid. Seemingly nice kid. Went to buy a gun maybe because he felt like he needed protection, and instead, the guy he was to buy the gun from shot him and killed him. 14 years old. Just wanted to. Who knows why he needed a gun? That's not even the point. See, that's another thing. Every time something bad happens to somebody, and or a crime gets committed, or someone gets accused of something, every time I hear them being described, it's always by their crimes. Like, it's always by their crimes. Like, even if they're the victim in the crime, like this person got killed, this person's a victim of a shooting. They robbed somebody 3 years ago. And it's like, what the fuck, dog? These people are dead or whatever, or accused. We don't even know if this person's guilty. It's like, oh, he was there buying a gun. It's like, so what? Not so what. Obviously, that's wrong. But does that mean them dying is warranted?
yeah.
Like, shit's crazy. People have no empathy for people in other situations because all people can tell is from what their life was, and I'm not talking about just like the rich boy who has a Range Rover and doesn't even know how to put gas in it. I would expect him not to like care. You know what I mean? It's fucked up that he doesn't care, or even agree like this guy acting kind of crazy out somewhere. But it's also the guy who was, a lifeguard in high school and played soccer and had to work every morning, had to go to do landscaping duty with his dad, and feels like he had it hard and he wasn't rich and he didn't get out there and start robbing people and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, maybe you guys had the same amount of money growing up, but when you walked out your door, there was a lake where you went fishing and your dad woke you up to go to work in the morning to teach you work ethic, and you played an organized sport. You were poor, but all these things were positive things. This person over here, there's gunshots outside their door. There's a person selling drugs on the corner. There's prostitutes walking up and down the street. Your friends probably maybe
Who is gonna end up shooting somebody between those
You know what
two
I mean?
individuals faster?
right. Who's going to react like you're saying the wrong way or whatever?
But is it the wrong way?
It is. It still is.
Is it?
It is.
But like
We're talking about wrong and right.
But we're also talking about popular culture, right? Most
But-
of those two kids, right? The scenario of the kid in the hood
Yeah.
and the kid in the white picket fence, they probably at this time in society are listening to the same music,
yeah.
influenced by the same video games, influenced by the same movies,
Yeah.
but one is going outside and killing other people,
Mm-hmm.
and the other one's going outside and not. And I'm speaking.
It's general. Yeah, yeah. It's
because it
general. Yeah,
happens
yeah,
on
yeah,
both
yeah.
sides.
All of it's
Like,
general. Yeah, yeah.
you know, like remember Conrad Schaefer? Hypothetically,
Mm-hmm.
maybe he came from a better environment, but he still chose. And I think to be influenced, if you guys go back to the Father's Fault episodes, what I'm talking about is the influence and how it affects these kids nowadays. Like we grew up with gangster rappers and gangster films and shit, but the level of it being part of the culture now is on a whole other level, and it's definitely affecting these kids from poorer environments. And I think society has to compensate for that in our justice system. I'm not saying we should let murderers out, and I am saying we should let drug dealers out of jail. I've been a strong proponent of that, but there is something affecting people. Like the story we're speaking about in this episode is about YNW Melly. Did I say that right?
I actually don't know.
It's Young N-Word World. Yeah, YNW.
Okay.
Okay. And his crew. And,
Is it the YNW crew?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, what it is the kid sounds like Young Thug. Okay. I can't play a lot of his music because I don't want us to get copyright strikes. But I'm talking about influence. He comes from this small town in Florida that we're going to hear some of the accounts, like his mom talking about the area and stuff like that. The kid gets all these bad cards dealt and finally gets an opportunity because of his talent. He gets signed to Young Thug's label, and through some unfortunate events that we're still trying to figure out now, according to him, there was a drive-by and people were coming out of him with some jealousy factor. But according to the good old police CSI team, which they're amazing at this point in history, they figured out that the kid's lying. You know what I mean? So two of his friends are killed in a car. He and his other friend are being prosecuted for it. Is it a self-defense case?
Right.
Is it just merciless, premeditated murder? I don't know. And not to mention, all the songs that this kid writes is about killing people. It's about murder. I mean, his top chart that's got over 200 million plays right now is called Murder on My Mind.
Does he have any other songs?
Blood on Blue Balenciagas, I think. All the songs have the same. It's all about shooting and killing people. The ops.
Right.
Wait,
no, real quick. Sorry. The ops are
the opposition.
Opposition. Right.
The opposite gang.
That's what I through trying to figure that out. That's what I figured out. But I wasn't sure if I was right or not.
I think this psychology came originally, at least for this wave in hip hop, from Chicago. When we started seeing Chief Keef and all these originally in Chicago, Chief Keef, I think, is a black disciple, and he goes against the gangster disciples. I might be mixing my gangs up, so apologize for my gang contact.
You kind of threw up a gang sign while mixing up your gang. You were like,
yeah, that's peace, love. I don't know if it stands for anything else.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't shoot me.
Yeah, for sure.
But, when we start seeing these 16-year-old kids with guns in their videos, hip-hop was like, oh, my God, what is this? But in reality, all they were doing were gangbanging. It was a new culture with social media, and instead of gangs running to each other's neighborhoods and spray painting
jumping
like
on
they
their
used to do
page
back in the day, or just shooting somebody, I'm going to make a whole video.
Mm-hmm.
You got to give it up to these kids. They're getting more creative, right? I'm going to make a whole song.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I'm being funny, but I'm being serious at the same time.
Well, I think it's better to do it online, I guess, than in person.
But to write a song about it and diss your clique and intimidate each other,
Yeah.
and then later on, there was real shootouts and real murders. It influenced. If you look at hip hop now, like almost 7 years later, you got a drill scene in New York. You got a drill scene, and I mean like drill as far as kids that are making music about murder. They call it different things, but if you look online right now, there's New York cliques that are, just gang banging, guns, same type of vibe. In New York, they're a little more clever because they don't actually show guns in the videos because they'll get arrested.
Except Takashi.
Yeah, but he'll drive to New Jersey and and show the gun. Be like, no, that part of the video was in New Jersey.
Yeah, we're good to go. Yeah, he's fucking clown.
But the kids are clever about. They know it's people. People have a romantic kind of connection
America
with
guns and
murder,
violence.
gun gangster.
That's America. That's very American. To romanticize that element of our kind of psyche in society, where it's kind of fun and awesome to take over shit, and just take over shit with your gun, your big, huge gun, man, your big American gun. Somebody. I mean, that's part of it too, man. There's an element of this world that just loves sick shit, man. Loves to kill, right? Loves to do all of that. And the ironic part, it's not necessarily predominantly the lower class. It's the religious and government, kind of societies or establishments or whatever in this world that are actually doing all the murders and violence and all of that. But they always frame it, they being them, the system, frame it in a positive thing because we're doing it to help. Perception. Why did England say that they what was the reason England gave for taking over Southwest United States to take it away from the Spanish?
I don't remember. Because
the Spanish Inquisition killed a bunch of Native Americans, and we're going to help the Native Americans and keep them from the Spanish.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought it was because of tea or something.
Tea Party, that was on the East Coast or whatever. But I'm talking about why. Again, perception. We're going to frame our violence in some other way. This is what the system or the government. It's to help to go to Iraq and do violent shit to help people go to wherever, do violent shit to help people, right? Vietnam, Germany, all these places, right? But the violence that gets portrayed in hip hop is just senseless. Like, I'm shooting, I'm killing, I'm not helping anybody do anything. Imagine if hip hop, that kind of hip hop, the drill movement, had shoot a nigga in his face so he gets off his mom because he's beating her or something. There's an element of positivity in there. Would that negate all of it? Because apparently that's what the uppers or the hires are doing. They're kind of just framing it different. Could we frame our violent hip hop a little different?
In reality, the reason why the violence takes place is just self-defense. It's like, you came out and killed my homie, so now I have to retaliate.
Right. Well, that's part of it for sure. I mean,
that's the biggest part of it.
Probably it has a lot to do.
Pride.
It's cause and effect kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And it even gets down to it's even become a game to certain people. Like the way, if you hear in the rap, they're like, my shooter, he scores. They even the drill rappers name themselves after basketball players. Rondo, number 9.
Oh yeah.
And because it was it became a game. Because it's all this madness that's going on. And again, it's. I know I was making fun of the whole thing. These guys are creative with making music, but there's no outlets. What else are we gonna do?
Well, that's what they need to do. They need to make the music.
Yeah, but if they were making music about, Tupac was really clever when he did Dear Mama, but Dear Mama is not gonna hit all the time. You see, when you make the Dear Mama, the beat, I shot him because he beat a woman record. I'd rather ride around and it's something about the bravado of I'm the most gangster of all.
Bravado?
Machismo.
No, it is. But what made Tupac so great is that he hit on all aspects of that.
But that's
culture.
not the norm, is what I'm saying.
It is not.
And
that's why Tupac's Tupac, because he wasn't normal.
It's more popular to talk about, I'm the biggest guy with the biggest balls and the biggest gun, and I shoot the most people and I kill the most people.
I think what it is low hanging fruit on both sides, the consumer and the artist. It's just easy to. It's like eating a pizza. It's just easy, It's just easier to rap about the same corny, cool shit. Corny and cool, you know what I mean? Low hanging fruit, where it's just easier to be shoot a motherfucker, deal drugs, slap his bitch, take his bitch, take my bitch, all of this stuff, instead of like putting some thought down and like really trying to. It's just easier, and it's easier to digest. It's easier than like trying to break down Talib Kweli's lyrics and just try to like run it back 7 times and like put the work in. It's just, you got to like do something. But if you're over there just going,
but Talib's songs are corny as fuck, bro. I mean, they're good, they're creative.
Again, that's,
Get by is cool, but are you really trying to play that in the car while you're riding out?
A lot of people are, yes. And it's deep. There's layers. It's apple or oranges, you know what I mean?
You like 2 Chainz better.
Absolutely. I like 2 Chainz better.
So do most of us.
But it doesn't mean that he's better. You know what I mean? Again, that's my perception of that situation. And I love, because it's like 2 Chainz, Talib. It's like, and then if it's a Saturday at 1 p.m., it might be Talib, 2 Chainz. You know what I mean? Because I look at them in so many different aspects that I'm not even trying to compare them. But what I'm saying is, it's more difficult to listen to his music as a general consumer than it is to listen to some, and even 2 Chainz, because he has some like little things in there you got to kind of like think about. But like, there's artists that are just like have make no goddamn sense. I can't understand what half the shit is saying.
But if they talk about guns, robbery, and these type of things,
again, it's easy.
But it's the gumbo of success. That's the mixture you need to throw.
Yeah, because it's easy. It's melodic. Hit that formula, make the hook catchy, and just make it easy for people to digest, and you're probably going to be popular.
How do we, if we're setting these people up to create, because it's like, hey, that's like, why do people become doctors and lawyers? Because they know, hey, if I go to school for 12 years, I'm gonna get a good job of it, and it's a society.
Or they want to help people.
If I rap about this way,
yeah,
I'm
for
gonna
sure,
make money. So how do we penalize people? Because it's people's influence that are creating these people. Regardless, they have to make the conscious decision of becoming. But this kid is 16, 17. I think he might be a little bit older or younger. This guy Melly, and he was born in '99, so that makes him 20 years old. Okay? He's 20 years old. He's definitely influenced by Young Thug. He's definitely influenced. And the poor guy, just like, I feel bad for people like this. Like, we continue to produce people like this, and it's not their fault.
So back to the point where you were talking about, like, society, the judicial system needs to adjust to the situations that these cats are in.
Psychological variable here that we got to deal with.
I think
because it's an epidemic.
I think there is some.
It's a fucking epidemic.
It is, and I think there's some empathy that needs to be had. I think what the issue is, though, is the systemic racism in the system, and
the fact that we're not treating it as a mental disorder. We're treating
part of it too.
It's like a straight crime.
I think you need to. It's both, though. That's the part I guess we're kind of like. I feel like there still needs to be penalties, right? I think you want them to be a little lighter than I necessarily want them to be.
Circumstantial.
I think being penalized and being put in prison is what needs to happen sometimes. But on top of that, we need to be working with people like you were saying, with the people that are in for life that talks to these guys, or like mental help in there, like therapy or whatnot.
That works. There's a societal thing that's affecting these people, and we have to penalize. If people like this are going to get arrested, right, and going to get tried, damn it, I'm not a Melly, but I'm a Tekashi fan. So you know what? I'm guilty for liking Tekashi's shit, for watching Tekashi's shit.
For sure.
You know, like, I'm guilty for that.
For sure.
I'm guilty because if you don't
hit play, he doesn't get,
And if I don't get, if there's, it's like, I'm a fat guy. I like eating a double cheeseburger.
I wouldn't say you're guilty though for liking.
You have to be, man. We have to start taking responsibility.
No.
If we want society to change.
No, bro, you're guilty.
If I want to lose weight, I cannot be blaming fucking McDonald's,
right,
or Five Guys. Okay, I can't blame Five Guys for one man's problem, bro.
Right,
it's my problem.
Right,
I'm adding to it. I'm being fatter. I'm creating a weight on society. There's a lot of us in America that are like this. There's no penalty I'm not saying you should throw fat people in jail. I'm not saying you should throw people in jail for liking these type of videos, but damn it, like society's got to fall back and I don't know, man. There's got to be,
Bro, it's people always say that like you can eat a cheeseburger, just work out too. You can like Tekashi, just like Talib too, or whatever.
But us supporting Tekashi, us supporting Melly.
No, we're disproportionately supporting Tekashi as opposed to stuff that's good for the world too. It all has to be included.
Yeah, but is that so you're saying like, that doesn't work though? That doesn't.
Sure, it does. It just isn't done. It'll work if you just offer all at the same amount of, instead of just promoting the bullshit, which I like the bullshit.
Okay, so we're saying we're saying that
as far as music goes, society,
it's a promotional thing. You don't think it's a consumer thing? It's the way we digest. This is what we like.
If you put
Kendrick is cool, but I want to listen to more of this shit. Well, Kendrick drops every now and then. That's cool, but I don't want to listen to Kendrick.
If we played more and we just gave more across the board, more balanced, everything.
Who calls that though?
Whether they're three major media companies or something, Viacom, blah blah blah, and blah blah blah. So that trickles down.
That's who we should start holding responsible for.
Absolutely. But we've known this for years. We know, but how do you do that? It's by fucking with their money, right? So to your point, you would have to stop liking Tekashi, but you would also have to stop liking the other stuff. You just have to stop consuming anything coming from the media company. And then there'll be some sort of like, well, why are consumers not fucking with us anymore? At which point consumers step forward, just like with the Bank of America and the overdraft fees.
It's the company's fault. I still think it's the people's fault. The companies are just providing the service.
Nah, no, not at all, bro. Not at all.
These dudes, Melly,
part
Tekashi,
of
all those dudes were successful.
And again,
before they.
You're saying either or still. It's not an either or thing. Okay, it's the company, but it's also us. We're the one consuming it,
right?
But it's also us.
We're the ones that.
No.
If you stop the bucket, us.
No, you don't
they
stop.
They won't produce it no more,
bro. It's us, because they're human beings too. We can't keep saying things are either this or that. It's all of that shit. Again, present a balanced thing. Let people choose what they want instead of just presenting. Like, I want to hear Rhapsody on the radio, not just Cardi B, right?
I don't think the majority of people want that though.
How do you know?
Because
how do you know?
Because it like
because of what you think.
No, because all artists start on an underground level, right? Mm-hmm. And then they gain notoriety somehow. Mm-hmm. Some of them, like the Little Pumps, the Tekashis and stuff, they've used social media to get people's attention in an ignorant way, okay? Maybe arguably Rhapsody doesn't know how to use social media, but we're in a different world right now.
I don't accept that argument at all.
These companies are not tag teaming with the ignorance until it's popular. The ignorant people have to start from a ground level and build the same thing with Cardi B. Cardi B was dropping her own mixtape, recording her own shit, but it was dealt through like maybe she was like a conscious ratchet person. There was righteous and ratchet qualities within her, but most of the people were attracted to this crazy stripper bitch that's talking about sucking dick and this and that, blah, 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 blah. Then the labels came. Tekashi was online dressing with HIV jerseys, fucking bitches, DDT in them. Then the label came. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure the same thing because he got signed to Young Thug's label, so he's not even on a major label. Mm-hmm. One of his first videos, Melly the Menace, it's just him and his boys in the hoods with these big guns. Mm-hmm. This is before any of the labels came. Mm-hmm. That video got notoriety. Mm-hmm. Then the labels came and supported it. Mm-hmm. But it's the people on the ground level that are attracted to that, the ignorance, the right. Maybe there's more of those people on Earth than there are. It's kind of like the God Body. We grew up on Wu-Tang and stuff like that. 90% of people are fucking ignorant, or is it 85% of people are ignorant? Then there's 10% of the people that control everything, and then there's 5% of the enlightened that can see that and have the balance like you. You know what I mean? And so where I'm saying is that it starts on a society level before. Yeah, you're right. there are humans that are running these corporations and stuff, but they're in a job, and the job has qualifications, requirements, principles, responsibilities, all these things that equal a job. So when the person at the record label sees like, damn, this underground cat is really going on, he has to be smart enough to go, I need to sign that because that's what's working. Society likes it, so that I can raise as a commodity within my work structure. So I get that level. Yeah, those are all the same integral things working together on a human level. He sees the ignorant shit is, but it's still the consumer on the first base. It's the consumer, including me. I think I'm a pretty intellectual person. I like ignorant music more than I even know Bob Marley's my favorite artist. But I enjoy this ignorant shit. I'm at fault.
No.
No.
Society's fucked up through history for whatever reason, right? At the beginning of this whole thing, you were talking about let's not necessarily fully blame the person who did the crime because society's fucked up, right? So don't blame yourself for wanting to listen to something ignorant. The guy who's deciding, who sees that Cardi B's talking about sucking dick and get 2 million views per Instagram post, the guy who sees that and decides, all right, we need to push her. That guy, those people, whatever, in that moment, need to be part of the solution to fixing society and decide, well, let's push her, and then also pick Grammy nominated Rhapsody to push. Or I keep only because I just listened to Talib.
No, she's a good example.
Or I would say Talib. I was about to say Talib just because I just listened to a song, and it's
I think a better example is Kendrick. You know,
Kendrick,
J. Cole.
Whatever. J. Cole,
because they've got the formula. Rhapsody still needs to work on her formula a little bit.
Well, whatever, whoever. Again, this is a general thing that I'm just saying. To help with getting the world better, these companies, these powerful media organizations need to stop hiding behind the fact that this corporate structure where I need to have to. It's illegal if we don't make the most amount of money, which is fucking bananas. So that means you can do whatever you need to do and hide behind the fact that, well, I got to make money.
Fiscally responsible.
This is bullshit.
It's a law, actually.
Because it is. That's what I'm saying. It's illegal for them not to act like that. That's fucking bullshit because then they can just do whatever under the guise, again, rich motherfuckers framing shit so that it's perceived a certain way. No, it's just me doing my job to the point where you're arguing for them because it's their job to do. It's like, nah, that's not how it should work. Like, if you're going to push bullshit, give me some veggies too. Like, give me some whatever. If you're going to make me eat this fucking cheeseburger, give me a smoothie to wash it all down or whatever, to really figure out how to fix this whole thing on top of any number of things that the government, state and federal, could do to help neighborhoods that Buddy grew up in, schools that Buddy did or didn't go to. Programs that get his father or his mother or whoever to I don't know his history. Again, I'm pointing at him because he's standing right there, but to help their whole situation. Yeah. The disenfranchisement, the fucking the weird looks. You know what I mean? How to deal with older white people when they talk to you crazy, so that you don't flip out on them. You know what I mean? Which is something I had to be told, you know what I mean? So when somebody just says something nuts to you or just pets you like you're a little fucking, oh, look at his hair and shit, it's just is this bitch petting me right now? And I got to be told, listen.
That's a whole other level of fucked up.
But what I'm saying is,
people have to adapt to that.
I guess it's easier, basically.
Sad.
It's very sad, but what's the alternative? It's what's the thing called? Not acclamation. It's a bad word. Assimilation. Not naming your child Marquita because somebody's gonna look on a,
judge.
What's crazy? What's the fucking term? I got it right there. When you say shucking and driving, no. Two-stepping, no. It's a term for talking, changing your voice, flipping the script. Can't think of the word, but Shauna didn't even know that was a thing. She asked me about it, of like the white voice.
Right.
You know, I was like, it's just part of assimilation. It's sad, but if you want to get ahead in certain places in this world, picking up the phone and being like, yo, what's up? I got this job I heard about. I'm trying to get in there and maybe do some work for y'all. I'm really good at Photoshop. You know what I mean? I'm killing it. Basically, my skills are off the charts. Or I call and say, hi, my name's Chris, and I noticed there was an opening for graphic designer, and I'm hoping to get in there because I'd really love the opportunity to whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? And it's like, I shouldn't have to do that,
Right.
but do I want the job? You know? But aside from that, if we had state sponsored things that come through neighborhoods to talk to kids and tell them like, yo, don't worry about how people perceive you, because that doesn't mean anything. You're this, you're smart, you're just as smart as this kid. You just need more tools, and we're here to give you more tools to
The crazy
succeed.
shit is these people that are going to show up to these neighborhoods are coming from a budget where the tools start and everything starts. Like, you know, like motherfuckers in society need to be retrained.
No,
to
for
deal
sure.
with people
For sure.
that haven't been taken care of, man.
Or just need to be, you know what, or I'm always saying, we're going to lose some people. We're just going to lose some people. I'm talking about like well-to-do people that don't want to like get on board with this whole like black people are here, Spanish people are here, like poor people are here. We're all sitting in the same place. We're all breathing the same air. You know, people who just still think they're better because they have an extra zero on their bank account.
Not to mention your grandparents
or Yale.
came here speaking a different
language.
Different.
Like so many people, so many of they don't get that because it was, 400 years ago or whatever. It's just like it didn't even happen. You know, that's what's so hilarious about Make America Great Again. It's like I'm looking at history. I'm literally looking at history the past couple of weeks, and I'm trying to figure out
What part of the great? Where's the great? Where?
Like literally to now, when I haven't seen a moment. You know what I mean? American Revolution. Is that what we're talking about? Arguable. It's definitely not the civil rights. It's definitely not Vietnam. It's definitely not the women's suffrage movement.
It's definitely not.
Well, goddamn,
Kimberly.
Phraydoe really picked a fucked up story this time. Look, brothers, this episode is about murder, a whole lot of killing, trust, friendship, money, fame, and a whole lot of guns and some singing. Plus, Kanye West is the new Charles Manson. Let me start by saying this guy Melly looks cute and scary all at the same damn time. He looks like an earthworm with street cred. Well, let's get right into my facts bag, fat boy and tall boy.
No.
I got murder on my mind.
No.
No pun, fuck boys.
Oh.
This is from tc-palm.com. Four men who grew up in the Vero Beach area are at the center of a story about two rappers who are accused of murdering their friends. It's a complicated story that includes a police claim of a staged drive-by shooting, and a wildly popular artist who recently released a song with Kanye West. And now one of the men involved is facing the death penalty if convicted. Here's what we know. October 2018. Christopher Thomas Jr., 19, of Gifford, and Anthony Williams, 21, of Fort Pierce were shot and killed October 26 in South Florida.
What's Melly's
according
real
to the
name?
Miramar Police
never mind. I
Department.
see it.
Jamal Demons. His last name is Demons.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of
Foreshadowing?
What is Shakespeare's foreshadowing in this story?
Both were driven to Memorial Hospital Miramar about 4:35 a.m., and arrived with multiple gunshot wounds, but, police said, were already dead. Thomas went by the stage name YNW Juvie, while Williams was known as YNW Sachaser.
Sack chaser.
The men were last seen alive in Fort Lauderdale about 3:20 a.m. that same day, police said. The identity of the friend who drove Williams and Thomas to the hospital was not released at that time. The two were part of a group of friends that included Jamal Demons, aka YNW Melly, and Cortland Henry, aka YNW Bortland. Miramar police said an investigation concluded that Demons shot and killed Williams and Thomas. Henry was arrested in Texas and extradited to Broward County on February 12. Demons turned himself into officials in Broward County on February 13. Both were charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Henry also was charged with 2 counts of accessory after the fact. Miramar police said Demons and Henry plotted to kill the young men they grew up with, then staged their bodies to look as if a drive-by shooting had occurred. Demons is accused of firing the shots, court records show. Henry then drove to the hospital with the bodies in a Jeep SUV, according to police. Prior to turning himself in, Demons posted a photo on Instagram of all 4 young men together, proclaiming his innocence. A couple months ago I lost my 2 brothers by violence and now the system to find justice, Demons said in the post. Unfortunately a lot of rumors and lies are being said, but no worries, God is with me and my brother Henry. New details emerge. Court documents obtained March 1 detail how Miramar police said the rapper staged the deaths of 2 friends. About 4:35 a.m. October 26, Henry pulled into Memorial Hospital Miramar with the bodies of Williams and Thomas in the passenger seats of a bullet-riddled Jeep Compass. He originally told police the 2 were killed by unknown assailants in a drive-by shooting, but police later said Henry and Demons had orchestrated the killings, with Demons pulling the trigger and Henry assisting a cover-up. Arrest records filed with the Broward County Court February 14 detail a variety of evidence supporting the allegations. Among the investigators' claims, police found no evidence of shots fired in the location Henry said the shooting occurred. There were no reports of gunshots in the area. Cell phone records and surveillance video showed an associate had given false information about Demons' whereabouts before the shooting.
Damn cell phones.
Cell phone records and surveillance video showed the path taken to the hospital contradicted Henry's testimony. Forensic evidence at the actual crime scene, determined by cell phone records and canine search, showed no other vehicles were present at the time of the shooting. A trajectory analysis on the vehicle showed the paths of the bullets, right to left, did not match the victim's wounds, left to right. Also detailed was evidence investigators said directly implicated Demons as the shooter. A shell casing from a .40 caliber handgun that matched casings found at the crime scene was discovered on the floorboard of the left rear passenger seat in the vehicle, where video evidence showed Demons had been sitting. Evidence from an autopsy also showed the shot that killed Williams, who had been sitting in the front right passenger seat, had come from behind and to the left and was fired from less than 3 feet away. Investigators said evidence showed Henry and Demons had driven around for a period of time with the 2 dead victims in the vehicle prior to entering the hospital in a calculated effort to establish their version of the incident. The motive for the shooting was not known as of March 4. Not guilty plea. Demons pleaded not guilty March 5 to charges of first-degree murder. The case is slated to be heard in front of a jury. A hearing is scheduled for April 25. Henry is expected to be arraigned March 11 on 2 counts of first-degree murder and 2 counts of accessory after the fact. Neither man had an attorney listed in court records the morning of March 6. Update: Henry, who stood mute as the charges were announced, entered a plea of not guilty March 11 in a Fort Lauderdale courtroom, according to Paula McMahon, spokeswoman for the Broward County State Attorney's Office. Update: state prosecutors filed notice in April of their intent to seek the death penalty in the double murder case. By state law, first-degree murder is punishable.
What? Would he be the first rapper to get put to death if that happens?
I think there's some rappers in California that are on death row right now. They're not as popular as as far as the notoriety and having a track with Charles Manson. I mean Kanye West. Have you seen what he's doing every Sunday? He's got his whole cult together.
He's not doing anything negative.
No, it's kind of culty.
Either by death or life without parole for suspect.
You could argue that about a lot of stuff in this world. Game of Thrones people. You gotta be here.
I don't know.
You gotta be here every Sunday at this time and be quiet. Don't tell anybody about any of this during the week. Sit your ass there and watch.
Yeah, but they don't dress like homeless people.
They dress like the people that they're watching.
Oh, that's true.
They dress up in whole thick Harry Potter
costumes.
Don't tell me Harry Potter people ain't part of a cult.
Yeah.
I got yelled at one time. I'm not talking about this as a terrible situation, but I don't know I don't know, right? I'm just in there talking about Harry Potter and he's got this. And there's some differentiation between the schools. There's Gryffindor, and then there's Slytherin, and then there's or whatever. There's houses.
You got in trouble?
I got yelled at by this girl. She didn't say anything. She was this freelance girl at my job, and she never said anything. But as we're having a conversation in the room, basically forgetting that she's even there, and she turns around almost angry that I messed up that Harry Potter is not part of, not Slytherin, not whatever. There's like a third one. I said the third one. But it's supposed to be Gryffindor.
If you would have got shot because of that, that would have been funny as hell. Not the fact that you would have got shot, but the fact that
Why?
you got shot over
Why-
Harry Potter.
Why was it, right? That's what I'm saying. So, anyway,
That's crazy.
I don't know that Kanye's Charles Manson.
Do
I
you
that's a
think
little
he
much.
looks like an earthworm with street cred?
Um,
That's what I heard online.
Nah, he's got a kind of a thin, wispy mustache, and he does have not so much a round head as he does a long head. Does that mean like Earthworm Jim looking?
Kind of.
Okay, I don't want to disrespect him. He shot some people.
Yeah, he probably got friends that kill people.
Yeah, I don't wanna do all
we
that.
are in Florida.
We're good,
Yeah,
no
he
beef.
could get off.
We're just trying to talk about his situation. Don't come see me, please.
So this was a documentary that he put out on his channel.
That's him right there.
Huh?
That's him right there.
No, this is the.
I was gonna say,
this
that
is the
doesn't look like
kid.
him at all.
This is one of the kids that got shot.
Okay, so
This is Juvie.
oh wait, I thought they died.
They did die, and that's.
Oh, I'm
what's
such a
crazy.
stupid asshole. This is before. I thought this
Oh,
was
see,
after.
so listen. let
Like he looks fine.
He's not dead. The crazy part is that after they died in November, right?
Okay.
Melly put this out in December. So this was previous recorded and stuff. And I think they were saying that he put out this documentary to kind of help build the case that, like, these are his best friends. Like, how could he kill his friends?
He put the documentary out
His team did on his channel.
after while he was in jail.
No, he didn't get arrested till February.
Oh, okay,
So
like
the murders
couple
happened
months
in
later.
November. The cops are like, okay, we believe you. This was a drive-by.
So then they did
They
an
do their
investigation.
forensic
Yeah.
evidence. It took them like 2 or 3 months to really get the cell phone records, follow and trace everything. So at this point in December, when this
That's the documentary I want to see.
well, this documentary, when he drops it, is still where everybody thinks that, oh, poor Melly.
Right.
got
So it
his
was almost
friends
like
killed.
a homage to him or whatever. It was like it was perceived when this came out that it was a positive thing.
Yeah, that they were on the come up together. And they even talk about how people hate on them and they love on them and stuff like that.
So I kind of missed it, I think. Melly is saying that his two friends were jealous of him or were going to kill him, so he did
No,
it
he's
first.
not saying anything right now. That's what everybody's suspecting.
Okay.
Right now, the story that he's saying is that Henry was in the car with Juvie and Sack Chaser. When they left the studio, right? Melly got into another car and was just driving home. The three that were in the Compass, in the Jeep Compass, got on to I-95. When they got off of I-95, somebody pulled up and sprayed them. Henry ducked down and survived the bullets, but his two boys were shot, so he drove them directly to the hospital. That's their story. Melly wasn't even in the car or anything. Now, when the cops did the forensic evidence and they pulled the GPS from the cell phone, it shows that Melly was in the car, and they drove basically to the same area but kept going. And then they were on 176th Street, and basically something happened where the car was going this way and then turned around and came this way. And then dropped Melly off somewhere, and then the guy, Henry, went to the hospital and basically was like, hey,
Cell phones, bro.
the cell phones. Not to mention there was some Snapchat evidence.
What is
where
with that? What is
Melly
with that?
was talking to his girlfriend saying that, I have to always be with this guy Henry. He's got my back.
Mm-hmm.
God knows to some extent, like, basically this is my road dog, what he did for me. So all this
Stupid
evidence started
asshole.
piling up, and people are assuming that there was an argument in the car, okay, and maybe Sack Chaser, they're saying that was a little jealous of Melly's
Current song success.
and that he wasn't as successful because they have songs together, but Melly is the most successful out of all of them. And basically that's why I was saying at the beginning of the conversation, what if it was a self-defense, but since he has this notoriety of being this gangster rapper with a hit song called Murder on My Mind, how can I prove to the cops
Right.
that it was self-defense, right?
So then he just kind of
Let's make up the story.
And I understood that, and I heard it when you said it, and I still say that it's wrong.
It's wrong. Well, check this out.
If you were doing in self defense, then tell them that's what did. Guess another artist that there was no evidence of there was no camera evidence, there was anything,
but somebody kicked down the door. He shot him, killed him, got off.
Soldier Boy. Soldier.
There's video of that one.
Soldier Man.
There's video of that one.
Yeah.
Gucci Mane.
Gucci Mane, yeah.
And he just said it. He just said what he did, including in records thousands of times afterwards. And he's fine because he told the truth. You know, as soon as the truth, man, I know it's not going to get you out every time, but it's just so much easier at the end of the day. No matter if it gets you in or out of trouble, it's easier. Just tell the truth, man. Just say it.
Or maybe you're right. Maybe you just murdered the dude. Maybe
I didn't say that.
No, I'm saying no. You're right as far as the fact of him being wrong. And
okay.
Lying from the get. Maybe
that's what I'm not saying wrong. Like he killed him on purpose. Well, on purpose, like maliciously, I guess, or whatever. Right. All I'm saying is, if Buddy was coming after you and he pulled out, and you knew he was gonna pull out, you popped him, whatever. You popped the other dude, or however it worked. You knew that they were coming after you, or they did and made them up. Whatever it is, just tell the truth, because that shit fucked you up. Now everybody just thinks you did something because of all the like skeevy shit and the like driving around weird shit, and everybody's just like, oh man, this guy killed 2 people. But I mean, I don't know him. I don't even know his music really.
He's sitting in this back seat, right? The guy Henry that drives people to the hospitals is right here. Mm-hmm. Sack Chaser's right here. The other guy, he shot these 2, but did not shoot the guy in the front. So that's another thing. Like, so that's why I want to show. This is one of the gentlemen that was shot. His name is. So
is this Sack Chaser
YNW
or
Juvie? This is Juvie, and then we're gonna see Sack Chaser.
You got some haters just mad at the success, but now they see it, they just hate it, but they love it at the same time. So it's like both 50-50 in everybody.
They love us and hate us. Like, they happy to see us. They happy to see us when they see us. You know what I'm talking about? When we were talking about that jump back in the day, they like,
swipe under.
They going to jail. Them niggas crazy. Rapper, that's what you want to be? Better go get a job at Wendy's. You get a job at Wendy's, ain't got nothing to think about but that job at Wendy's for 2 years. Then when they fire you, you think about, I could have went to college, I could have did all. Yeah, you could have. You Wendy's babe now.
Oh, no.
You ready to flip some patties. Even when you got fired, you still ready to, your arm still ready to flip some patties.
Oh, man, that's fucking deep.
Now you gotta go to Burger King.
That's the conditioning we were talking about. They make you kind of like want to fight for Wendy's culture to the point where you work at Wendy's for 2 years and now somebody says, I don't like a Wendy's burger, and you feel offended somehow. It's like, no, Wendy's is the best. I worked at Wendy's and it's like, these motherfuckers do not care about you, do not care about your life. Fuck your life, literally fuck your life. But
well, this is the same type. So they all live in this house together, right?
Kids.
It's a typical Florida house. There's no furniture. All they have is weed and some guns and clothes.
Not typical. It is a typical Florida. Okay, I see what you're saying. You made it sound like a typical Florida house has no furniture and weed and guns.
No. Like the way they're living, their environment is,
Yeah.
and that's what
but
I'm saying.
the house itself is a typical Florida house.
And it's like you could tell that like these guys all want to get it. They all have the same kind of mentality of like wanting to be successful.
Looks like a trap house.
Yeah. So this is Melly talking about.
He had a little couch with a whole bunch of toys and shit.
High Licks guns.
And I seen a toy gun. I was just playing with that bitch like, pew, pew. I'll never forget the movie, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. You know what I'm talking about? Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. They was in that house, that little warehouse, and everything was fucked up. And he was hiding behind the shit, and she, and that bitch almost hit him. Right there, like I tried to do that shit, but I rolled with it. I rolled. When I rolled, I hit my head under the couch. When I hit my head under the couch, I stayed up for a little bit. I seen some shit shining. It was a 22 revolver, a real gun.
This is in his room now. He's just got an AK chilling.
He's a kid.
And you see that what I was saying, how everybody watched that movie, but you could have been a rich kid that lived in the lake, or you could have been this poor kid that lived in this Florida town, and the way it influences you, like this guy sees the gun, like check this out.
I'm a kid though. So I just walk out the house and I shot that bitch. And I couldn't hear.
So he's playing in his fucking living room with the toy gun, falls, hits his head. Under the sofa, there's a real gun. He said, oh shit, there's the real shit. Went outside and shot it.
Yeah.
My ear for like a week. But then I was like, damn, it's a real gun, you know what I'm saying? I was only in 4th grade, but I took that bitch everywhere. To school, I took that bitch everywhere.
When he was little, he was the best
looks a
kid
little
you could
wormy
ask
there,
for. When I started waitressing at Chili's,
This is his mom, okay? Adding more context to the story.
Yeah, you don't want to judge anybody, you know. So I try to. It's just like, what, you know. Again,
This helps explain though his background.
No, yeah, we need to listen to it and all of that. It's just like, damn, dog, that's such a fucked up thing, you know. Could have blew his head off. Where's the adult? Where's the even young teen?
And this is what the
society got to
court
fix.
system
Yeah.
has to take into account when things like this happen.
No, I hear that. That's what I mean with the ancillary on top of which, besides just putting them in jail, doing other stuff as well, right? But this is also what I'm talking about, where I say the courts. No, I don't know. The government. I keep saying the government, and I feel like it's the wrong term to say, but like the higher ups need to like have programs where they're just walking through and like, hey, listen, you guys, blah, 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 blah. Let's have a conversation. It may take forever, and it's probably not even the right way to go about it, but you got to like do something, man, where people at such a low education and
the
socioeconomic level,
the way things influence kids in these circumstances.
I mean, that's why I was saying like there needs to be, if the government can, the FDA can tell me what's in the food or what's supposed to be in the food or what can't be in the food, what can be in the food, I think, nah, that's not the right way to go about it. We don't need government in music. That's fucking stupid. But I mean, the guy who chooses, you know, just go back to Cardi B sucking dick on Instagram.
It goes
or whatever.
back to parenting, Thompson. When
It
you're
definitely.
gonna have
I mean,
a kid,
you know, that's my position. Number
it's
one,
parenting.
right?
It's parenting.
No, number one,
you gotta teach these parents,
right?
You gotta go. You're gonna want to be a parent. You need to go to a 2-year college.
You go to class.
Take a freaking
Parenting class.
You need an AS in parenting.
They have that now, actually.
An AS or a BS in parenting.
Parents Academy is what they call it. I get phone calls for it. They come in on Saturday. 9 a.m. to 12, 3 hours. Now, if you make it required, people would bitch and complain. But
just listen to this though.
He would sit right there in the little corner, drink his chocolate milk, color in his little coloring book, and half the time I didn't even know he was at work with me. He was so good. And if you played, he would sit right.
That bitch everywhere. To school, I took that bitch everywhere.
When he was little, he was the best kid you could ask for. When I started waitressing at Chili's, he would sit right there in the little corner, drink his chocolate milk, color in his little coloring book, and half the time I didn't even know he was at work with me. He was so good. And if you played music or anything like that, oh, he was down to dance. He was ready to dance and perform. Always ready to perform.
He had a gun in his lap while he was coloring. He said, I used to take that bitch everywhere, including with my mom at Chili's. So I didn't even know he was there.
So that's the mama, all right? And we're not judging anybody here. We're just showing the context of...
Out of his own mouth, he just said he had a gun on him when he was 4. His mom told him he just stuck him in the corner at Chili's, but at least his mom had a job, and at least she, was allowed to have that. You know, the Chili's manager didn't have to let him hang out.
It was just mind-blowing. He had the most beautiful voice in kindergarten. Like, he could sing, and he was not shy, and he was dancing, and we were all just like, this little kid he's gonna be somebody.
Growing up, I always was like, in the music, had a little rhythm, but I wasn't taking that shit seriously like that. I just knew I could do something with it.
When he got to middle school, I felt like he was just trying to find himself. And I always believe you let kids kind of, find themselves. Like, he wanted to wear the mismatched shoes, and then he went through a phase where he dyed half his hair blonde and the other half was black. And I'm like, that's what you want to do? You know, be your individual, be yourself. And he's always been an individual. He always did himself and didn't care what nobody else had to say. 8th grade is when he really started just like getting more caught up in like the street life, and then he had like boys that were bothering him, and he was getting into guns and different things like that. And I just always be like, are you okay? Do you want to tell me anything? And he always just like, oh, Ma, don't worry about it. I don't want you to worry. You're so busy, because I always work 2 jobs. And, you know, I was like, all right.
You know, the niggas who got their chest poked down and shit, thinking they tough and shit, you know they gonna try you. Plus, I'm small as fuck, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going through shit at the house. Motherfucker pissing me off there, because ain't nobody believing in me and shit at the time. They thinking I'm just playing when I say I'm gonna be a rapper. Ain't nobody believing in me. I got a lot of shit on my mind.
I mean, with his hair like that, he definitely resembles Earthworm Jim.
With street cred, though. Because look at all the gold chains and shit. Like,
his mom was like, that's when he got into guns, and I was like, are you okay? Do you want to talk? What?
Do you want to talk?
What the fuck are you talking about?
I noticed you were carrying that gun to school. Can we have
That's when he got into guns.
She took the right approach of just not straight beating his ass.
No, yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
you need to beat someone's ass.
Come on, dog. Like, if you notice him getting into guns.
In 8th grade.
I noticed you were getting into guns. I don't know.
I always dress like this.
I do know.
What?
You
gotta think.
I want to show you.
I got dye in my head. Pretty every day. I got my pistol on me in my lunchbox. Sometimes I bring 2 pistols. You know what I'm saying? And you would never suspect it.
It's a celebration.
That's grandma.
I see
Now, I'm smoking weed with my grandma. Smoking weed with my mom.
That's good, boy. That's good.
Good, huh?
Yeah. He's always been popular. Always. You know, I don't know if it's his swag or is it just the way he treat people, but he's always had friends.
Baby, let me get a hug. Good to see you.
You don't really see nobody doing that, but fighting or getting killed. For them to see him doing it, then that might encourage somebody else to say, hey, I don't want to do that. I want to make some money by singing and doing what I like doing, or rapping or whatever. They need some positivity in their life.
Like, even the grandmother knows. The grandmother knows. All your friends are killing each other. Thank God you decided to sing. You know, this is what's so sad about this story, is that you're not surprised that it happened.
No, it's normal. It's normalized for sure. But at this point, they're in it's, 400 years later.
When does Young Thug say, hey, I seen that Melly the Menace videos. That was great. You sound like me, blah, blah, blah. But, yo, chill out with the guns. Can he really say that?
No, fuck no.
Can Kanye say, when they did a song called Split Personality, okay? And it's talking about having split personalities. You know what I mean? Mental disorder. Kanye has a mental disorder. What are we teaching this kid? Look at his environment at home. Look at mama and grandmama. They're doing, God bless their souls, doing whatever they can. And, I know I might lose him or something, so I'm going to be around him, be his friend. This is what happens, you know what I mean? I know this because I remember me and my mom growing up in certain situations where she was no longer my mom in certain situations. She was like my big sister. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of positive things that came from that, but then there's a lot of things that maybe I shouldn't have been getting into. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you don't do no judgment. I guess we're judging a little bit, but you don't just say, hey, I noticed you are getting into guns. Do you want to have a conversation? That's not how that works. Like, you bum rush shit. You have a conversation. You make them have a conversation. You stay in their face about it. But not everybody's afforded that luxury to be able to, like, talk to their kids about how the world should be, because of the present situation says opposite. You can tell your kid all day. I assume you can tell your kid all day, you don't need to carry guns to go to school. You could use your hands and fight like a man. But if he's 5'6", 120, that's as big as my 8th grader.
And the culture, like, look, this is another video of his mom, basically. I guess the dude that he ended up shooting that was sitting shotgun, YNW Chaser,
Sack Chaser.
Sack Chaser. He had previously threatened YN Melly's mom.
Show me text messages from Sack Chaser threatening all her friends and all these people. Like, he's about this life. But I'm saying, like, who the fuck you ever robbed? Who the fuck you ever shot at? What the fuck you ever did? Nigga, you couldn't even take a fucking weed charge. If you don't sit your pussy ass down and don't ever come for me, because my credentials is real. It ain't even a joke. So don't ever try to come for me, because I don't even play them type of games. Like, what the fuck you got that I ain't got? Oh, you threaten me with your little gun? Bitch, I got big guns. At the end of the day, Melly is
drunk
my
as shit.
child.
You hear how she said end of day?
Great, because he's talented.
She's
He's
drunk.
talented because his mom, not because of your little fuck ass, retarded ass. Because you was a
So I don't know if y'all just
Yeah, man. That's. I mean, it says it all right there. That's where you're taking your cues from. I can't even. You know what I mean? You don't. What do you say to that? What do you say? That says it all.
Yeah, there's more people to blame for the situation, and when cases like this arise, there's victims in it, but we as a society have to change somehow, because it's such an unfortunate thing that it's not. I can't. It's hard. Like, yes, I blame him for pulling the trigger, but goddamn, bro, like, I get it, man. I get it. Like, look at all his. Like, look at what the world created.
I found my first gun when I was 9 years old. Ever since then, like, growing up, I was so addicted to it.
Pause that. Pause that. So that's a contradiction to what he said earlier.
I bought my first gun when I was 9.
I thought he said I found my first gun.
I found my first gun when I was 9 years old.
But earlier was 4.
Then, like, growing up, I was so addicted to it.
So that's an important point too. I'm not saying either one of those aren't true or whatever. I'm just saying it's important to kind of,
because he knows he wants to glamorize it.
Maybe it's that. It could be any number of things. I just think it's important in history to know not only what was said, but who's saying it and why they're saying it and what their end game is. So the woman, the mom, why is she saying that shit into the camera? What's her purpose for saying it? How much of big guns? I got big guns. How much of that is true? You got to consider all these things. Is it true that he was playing and he found a gun when he was 4 and he went outside and shot it and took it everywhere? Is it true that he found his first gun at 9 and did whatever? We don't know. We know at some point he definitely got into guns.
And he's influenced by it. He thinks it's cool to be
Thinks
talking
it's very
about
cool.
it and documenting.
Because mom thinks it's cool.
Hanging out with it.
Grandma probably thinks it's cool.
I just got signed to Young Thug.
Young Thug definitely thinks it's cool because we've seen early videos of his, same fucking thing.
Loaded.
And
I remember the first Young Thug video.
I think you put me onto that one.
Him and Pee Wee Longway.
Yeah.
Loaded.
I love that song.
He's like hanging out with the AK.
Fucking love that song. Again, loving that ignorance, right? But it comes from a real place. And, you know, the more we sit here and go over this, I go back to the old, it's some selfish, apathetic shit, I think. But we're going to lose some people throughout this process, including people that can't get out their own way or out of a hole that society put them into.
Created,
dropped him into.
He's only 20 years old, man.
You know, like set up the world so he'd fail, and he failed. And other people are failing, even if they don't think. Like, I could say, like, the things I'm saying now about how negative to me it seems that little selfie of hers is.
But he's so blind that he thinks he's successful.
Yeah, for sure. Well, not now. I think now he's probably sees a little more that he's not.
Well, once the gabbles drop, but
now. You don't think like now?
He could be. Somebody could be in his ear like, "Yo, you rich? We about to beat this case."
Yeah, he's got one song.
Optimistic. No, he's got several songs.
No, he's got one song.
He's got one hit, but
yeah. No. I know. He
has a career.
He has some others, but he's got one song.
Yeah.
That doesn't. That goes. That Old Town Roads and is one song. That guy can be gone tomorrow. Just because there's no longevity. This guy is definitely losing his buzz and his heat because he can't
think
go.
so?
Well, he can't go and do nothing.
But I think it's like the TK, right? TK went shot and robbed some people, went to jail, and blew up off of it. Like he's still being talked about because he's in jail. There's another weirdo thing with that.
How's the money doing?
I think he's not making show money, but
That's the money they make. That's what they live off of.
There's a lot. No, they get because
Every interview I ever hear from artists, big or small. Now we're talking about merch, but that's on the road too. And but I've never heard them say my deal is what gets me paid.
He's not making millions, but he's making enough, like a couple $100,000 to put on his attorney
right now from whatever their first little. But he's not making money. Anybody who's in jail is not making the money that they, because again, everything. Right. I'm not a rapper, obviously, but
there's streaming checks and little things.
But everything I've ever heard is the majority of income, like the vast majority of income, is from going out and doing shows. So, like, especially at the beginning, I doubt whatever money he's gotten from Young Thug is gonna be good for.
Yeah, but that song they got 200 million. He probably got like $1 million off that song between stream checks and stuff. It's one sale for every 1,500 streams.
Yeah.
And, you know, unfortunately, because of the murders, they've given the song a notoriety and a promotion kind of in a weird way.
No, I mean, yeah, unfortunately, but not unfortunately necessarily, you know.
Well, people were thinking that the songs, because in the song Murder on My Mind, the second verse, he talks about mistakenly shooting his friend and watching him die. But the crazy thing is that the song was dropped in August and the murders happened in November.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some crazy foreshadowing going there.
Yeah. Maybe he was having problems and he's just.
I think he just freestyled it and it sounded good, but
I'm just saying, like, maybe they were having problems amongst each other and it's like in his brain.
Maybe.
Sort of thing. Like accidentally shot him or whatever. I have never heard the song. I've actually never listened to any of this guy's music. Not even for this episode, because you described the melodic whatever to me.
This plays like a little clip, and it's a news, so I think we can get away with it.
We're going to have a break in the case of a double murder in Miramar.
2 people now behind bars, incling a
double
murder
rapper
who actually sings a popular song about murder.
Local 10's Christian De La Rosa joining us live now with more on the suspects arrested today.
Look at Christian.
That's right. And
like
take
Tom
a look
Cruise.
here. Just moments ago, we obtained this rapper's mugshot from the Broward County Jail. He has turned himself into authorities tonight. He and his alleged accomplice.
Is that weed?
Now behind bars. Ironically, one of his biggest hits on YouTube is titled Murder on My Mind. Up-and-coming Florida rapper YNW Melly, also known as Jamel Demons, is now in jail, charged with murdering 2 men he called his friends. 21-year-old Anthony Williams on the left and 19-year-old Christopher Thomas Jr. Local 10 news cameras were rolling back in October outside the Miramar Memorial Hospital emergency room. Detectives say the 2 victims arrived here in this 2018 Jeep, the back windshield appearing to be shot up. Both men pronounced dead moments later from gunshot wounds. Investigators telling us 20-year-old Cortland Henry drove both victims to the hospital, claiming they were victims of a drive-by shooting. The next day, the rapper tweeting, quote, "They took my brothers from me over jealousy." But detectives say the claims didn't add up with what they found.
So he's still saying drive-by.
Following their forensic investigation, Wednesday night, police announcing the arrest of YNW Melly.
This guy got shot from 3 feet away. This guy, there's like... So they pulled over and shot the back of the car out and shit?
He's trying to stage the shit
dumb
out.
as hell with that shit.
And Henry, accusing the rapper of shooting and killing his 2 so-called friends and working with Henry to stage the crime.
So at the end of the day, Henry told on him?
No, they're all pleading not guilty.
So they're all going off of...
And the rapper posting to his Instagram shortly before turning himself in tonight, saying in part, "I'm turning myself in today. I want you guys to know I love you and appreciate every single one of y'all. A couple months ago, I lost my 2 brothers by violence, and now the system wants to find justice. Unfortunately, a lot of rumors and lies are being said, but no worries. God is with me. YNW Melly was slated to have a concert tomorrow night in Philly. Safe to say, that's not happening.
Thanks, Fez's cousin.
We're live in Fort Lauderdale. I'm Christian De La Rosa, local.
Christian De La Rosa,
Looks like
a.k.a. Vilmer Valderrama. I think that's the guy's name.
Yeah, man. It's a crazy story, bro.
Yeah, and it doesn't have an end yet, so we don't know how this is. Is he gonna come out on top? Is he gonna?
Yeah, he pled not guilty.
How long was Bobby Shmurda in jail? He's coming out this year, right?
Yeah, I think he got like 7 years.
7 years, and he's still getting like love. That's
BG.
7 years.
Remember BG from Hot Boys? He's about to come out, and I bet you he can do a little tour. He served like 19 years.
Did you ever listen to any BG albums? I did.
I remember like hearing his verses on like Hot Boy tracks, but I wasn't like a BG.
That was arguably a Manny Fresh mixtape. Those days with the Hot Boys and all that. So I listened to some BG stuff. Yeah.
I mean,
to me, it's Juvie all the way with that whole. Yeah. This is kind of off the. But as far as like the whole package of lyrics and flow and all of that,
it's
over
not
Lil
off
Wayne,
because that's what happens within crews, right? You have the top guy that everybody.
You got to.
And what happens to the other people in the crew? You think they feel like?
Depends on what their strength of character is. You know,
it's got to feel like a little intimidating to be like, hey, I'm not as good as that dude.
Like, to me, and again, obviously we're not trying to put it on one person, but you got to be a realist, bro. Like, you got to know when you're not Jordan. You just ain't Jordan. You're Pippen. It's all good. It's good to be Pippen. It's even good to be Kerr, my guy. You'll be able to coach the Golden State Warriors later. Like, you don't have to be the best.
But see, yeah, that happens, right? But then you start hearing stuff like, at the beginning, yeah, you could believe that, and you could ride, and you could have good strength of character. But then, like, it's like the Ray Shrimmer situation.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Slim Jimmy keeps hearing, nah, man, Sway Lee is the guy.
Because he is
the guy. Right? But it starts to.
But again, we're back on this situation where it doesn't have to be one or the other. You're just not the guy. You're just as good or better than a lot of guys. Big Boy's in that situation. He's fire. Big Boy's fire. His album
got to him.
Huh?
It got to him.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, it did. Andre, like when he dropped that, I forgot what track he was talking about, how there was some animosity within the group, and that's why they stopped touring for a while.
Nah.
And yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, bro.
Not animosity.
I'm telling you.
It's not the right word to use.
There's animosity, bro.
The animosity was because he didn't want to go on tour. That wasn't because there was a problem with them as a group. It's that he wanted to do other stuff and not make music. And he's like, yo, all this money on the table, you don't want to take it. That's different than him being mad because everybody's saying that Andre 3000 is the greatest rapper alive and he's better than you.
Bro, it started happening. Remember Killer Mike and Big Boy had beef? Remember when they had beef?
Kinda, yeah.
It was before Killer,
Killer
Mike has always been like a conscious dude.
Yeah.
But he had, look it up on YouTube. There was a little beef with Big Boy and Killer Mike.
Kinda remember that.
And Killer Mike had the same strife. He would say, every time I want to go to drop something, this guy wants to be on the fucking track.
Mm-hmm.
This guy wants to shine for this guy. So there was some animosity there. So I'm just saying, within hip-hop rappers, there's a lot of bravado, machismo.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to be the best rapper. You're not going to tell me this guy's better than me.
And I would say the strength of character is not very high in the industry as a whole. Like fake ass people, made up people listening to bullshit from bullshit people, all that. You got to have that strength of character. Slim Jimmy, I still think Big Boy had that. Because I've never heard him specifically get mad because somebody. What I'm talking about right now is somebody getting mad because other people outside of their group are saying that you suck and he's good.
It's not necessarily you suck.
That's what they're saying. Slim Jimmy, Ray Shrimmer. That's the thing there.
Kind of, yeah. They're saying that Slim Jimmy's better. What I'm saying more is that it starts to weigh. No matter how strong of a character, it starts to weigh in on the group. And the ethos was in the group, and that's why sometimes I've been in bands too, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It had we had such a great thing going, but little by little, I want to start my own thing. I want to do Go do your thing, and then that doesn't work, and then I'm gonna take some of your ideas, and I'm gonna do this. Like, hey, don't be stealing from the pot that taught you how to cook when, or at least and it's just the animosity creates, misunderstandings create. It's like they don't wish bad on each other. That's my dog. I probably still ride out for him. Push comes to shove, but you know what? So much years of bullshit and hearing this and hearing that, you grow apart, bro. And you it sucks, but it's the truth. You can't even fight it. It's almost
no, I mean, like, not everyone can fight it.
With a hot girl, right? But then you start to know, it's like, damn, this chick is hot, but she's got these little qualities, and maybe she stops liking qualities about you, and then I'm hotter than you comes up, or maybe that's the wrong analogy, but the point is that no matter how much we're human, no matter how much you could try to fight it, we're human, and all humans have insecurities, and maybe insecurities that you didn't think you have will start to arise just based on, condition and time changing and circumstances. Shit, it happens. You try to fight it.
It happens, yeah.
But it fucking happens, man.
It happens.
To the best bands.
It happens, but
look at the Fugees.
Not to everybody, right? Not to 100% of the bands.
Groups that no, they're all. I mean,
yeah, most of them, right?
Beatles,
right?
Man, all of them.
All of them.
They
pretty
all
much, right?
It all starts happening. There's nothing you can do, and you're trying to focus on, like, bro, we're fucking this up. We have something great here, but it just starts to.
There's always one.
It's not just always one. It starts to make, like, people get in people's ear, like, yo, I remember within Family Gang. I'll just go ahead and say it. When we were, like, when it's like me, Chef, Palmer, we have this fucking conglomerate. It felt like a fucking Voltron, right? But then people get in Palmer's ear, like, yo, you should do your solo shit. It kind of takes away. Like, it's cool when you do that, but people be like, I would say Connor from Studio 18, Peeps and Moneymaker, would say shit to Palmer, like, yo, come and we'll record your own shit. And then eventually, you know what I'm saying? Omar was in the band, you know what I mean? The Evan Taylor comes along, was kind of indirectly part of the situation. Yo, come play for my band, blah, blah, blah. Now I have less time, you know what I mean? And it just goes across, and then little by little starts getting things. You don't want to check your homie, but you're like, yo, what happened to the flagship? And other people start other bands, and then those bands are not successful, and you start blaming other things, and then I start doing my own things, like, yo, why are you running with the Family Gang moniker? Because that's the only thing I have. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it just builds and builds and builds, and then,
Right. All that, though, doesn't have to do necessarily with what we were saying at the beginning. What it has to do with one person kind of feeling like and letting the outside forces dictate how they felt about themselves. You know what I mean? So that, yes, bands come together, fall apart. Yes, low self-esteem and whatever confidence
De La
levels.
Soul, I'm sorry.
They're still together.
De La Soul.
They're still together.
Shout out to De La Soul.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Tribe.
the Chili Peppers.
Tribe a little bit too.
Tribal. Well, the Chili Peppers got rid of Frashante.
Yeah, but Tribe's been doing pretty well.
I'm trying.
No, but what you're talking about is other stuff that made them leave, not necessarily the star, and then people just playing their roles, just assuming their roles. You know what I mean? Like saying, nah, that's the star. We need to just work with the star. You know what I mean? So I think that doesn't happen to everybody as far as like letting the outside forces tell them, like Kelly Rowland or whatever, being like,
yeah,
I gotta.
What about the Migos?
How long did it? You're right. Take off.
Take off. You feel like
take off?
We took Take Off for Lil Uzi.
Take Off. I mean, he by all so far, by all evidence, he's doing fine with people perceiving him as being the lesser Migo. You know what I mean? Because he's always like.
I feel like there's like a running joke with you being left off bad and bougie.
You think I'm left off bad and bougie? You said I'm left bad and bougie? I'm left off bad and bougie? Does it look like it? Yeah, it does look like it. But he's like, no, fuck y'all.
For now.
But I'm saying it doesn't happen to everybody. It's the outside. As long as you're strong enough in character, then now if you have a argument with your man, your guy, you know what I mean? That's different.
That's y'all having an argument together and that causing friction. But like, if you're strong enough in character, then no matter what some idiot says, y'all three know or whatever, but that shit ain't true. Or that shit is true. If somebody says, yo, Slim Jimmy, what's the other guy's name? Sway Lee, man, he's got all the hooks. And he does all of the best songs and blah, blah, blah. He's got the best features. And you ain't got it like that. You ain't even good. Now, as Slim Jimmy, it'd be like, now fuck you. I'm popping. My lyrics are great. My flow is great. But he is better than me. Like, what's wrong with that? Why can't you be, if Sway Lee's at 100, why can't you be 98, 99?
But you can.
You can.
At the beginning, you start. You know what I mean?
And I think that can go on forever as long as you're strong enough.
Hard, man. Like even
as long as you was brought up in a place.
Even the cats within the group that realize it and try and like try and try and try, it's still
It's not
like
for everybody.
You're juggling to kind of
not for everybody. Like a good example is, and I don't know the exact band, but call it Megadeth, no, Metallica, or call it
Metallica's one that stuck together.
Well, I'm not even that, but like, or Journey, right? Or just bands where not stuck together. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like where there's people in the group that just play their role.
Yeah.
So like the bassist there, he's not freaking out because they keep, saying that this singer is the best, especially if that singer gets replaced 5 times over the course of 20 years. He's still back there just like killing it. Not worried about who thinks or whatever, because he's strong enough in mind to be like, I ain't got to be the star.
Bro, you know the drummer of the Chili Pepper had a freak out because he looks just like Will Ferrell?
But more in shape?
They look alike. And
yeah, they're
he
similar.
Started to get annoyed because
and Will Ferrell can
play,
drum too.
Yeah. He'd go play and they'd be like, even during interviews, it'd be like, the only question to ask them, they would ask everybody questions and people would talk and they would always ask the drummer, not like, oh yeah, that was a great solo, whatever. They're like, hey, do you care that you look like
right.
Will Ferrell? And he started getting pissed off about it.
Yeah.
So no matter how strong you are mentally, you have the best job in the world. All I have to do is drum. I don't have no worries in the world. I just gotta stay on rhythm. That's my life. And I get to fucking be a millionaire. But you know what? I got sick of a motherfucker calling me Will Ferrell every fucking day. It was cool the first week. It was cool the first year. The second year, you know what? Hey, it's starting to bother me a little bit. By year 5, I'm going to strangle a motherfucker if I have to hear. And that's just the way people are. This guy is super successful.
Not everybody.
Everybody, bro.
Not everybody, because there's times when people literally said that as I'm saying, I'm trying to remember. They literally say, I remember when people kept saying this about me and it pissed me off over and over again. But now I realize that the money I'm making from this, it's like a role thing.
Bro, you know Praz is the richest Fuji.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anyway, go ahead.
Praz is the richest Fuji.
Why is he the richest Fuji?
Because he's the one that controlled all the background shit. He was the one that put the group together.
Mm-hmm.
But arguably, Praz is the worst rapper in the group.
He definitely is.
But he never let that bother him.
Right.
And because I only know this because I seen this DJ Vlad interview and he was saying that. He's like, yeah, people thought I was an idiot, blah, blah, blah. But I got the majority of the money.
Mm-hmm.
And I invested my money the right way,
Yeah.
But, he knew that he was the worst rapper.
Mm-hmm.
So even that, like, yeah, he's gonna take credit and be like, yeah, whatever. I was the worst rapper in the group but I was with Lauren and fucking Wyclef. Like, I'll be all right being shitty next to those two gods, Like,
but that's the thing too. It wasn't that he was shitty. That's what I'm trying to get across.
Right. It's just that he was.
You're just not Lauryn Hill or Wyclef Jean. It's okay. You can be Steve Kerr, my guy. Whoever this Steve Kerr character is in your world.
You can, but
people. Some people do fine. I'm still trying to think. It was a character that was played a long time ago. So every time somebody sees him, they say this. But this guy done a ton of stuff since then. But it's always this one thing. I can't remember what it is, but it's similar to like, say, William Shatner being
Mini-Me.
William Shatner being fucking Captain Kirk, right?
Right.
It's like, every time somebody sees me, it's the Captain Kirk. I did this, I did that. I've done so many things.
Oh, Seth. No, Jonah Hill used to get pissed off about that.
I think it was Jonah. Is it Jonah Hill?
Super bad.
But whatever it was, right? It's Jonah Hill, Captain Kirk, whatever it is. And it's like, they were mad
at a certain point, it's like, God damn, dog, I've done so much other shit besides Captain Kirk, besides Superbad. But now they went past all that, where they're like, damn, this is what put me on. This is what gave me my big house. This is why you even care. So you know what? Stardate 7, blah, blah. I'll play the game because thank you. You know what I mean? If you're strong enough in character, either you'll come out on the other side or you'll just be like, fuck it, you don't know what you're talking about anyway.
Yeah, or you say, fuck it, I'm through with that life. And you
I'm
start
fucking big boy. My raps are amazing. No, they're not to the point or to the level. I won't say this publicly, but they're not to the level of an Andre. But if he's 100, I'm a 99 or 98.
I think Big Boy thinks he's a better rapper than Andre.
Well, that's a different conversation. But like, shouldn't all rappers think they're better than all rappers?
That's what I'm saying. That ego as an artist.
No,
is a positive thing, but it can also be.
Sorry, you misunderstand. When I say shouldn't someone think I mean, I guess for lack of a better word, in this moment, they should think that they're a better. They should act like they're a better rapper, or they should act like they think it, or whatever. That confidence in your voice and whatever.
Yeah.
But somewhere in there, you just know the truth about that.
I can see that. I've definitely had to play that. I understand that, but certain rappers
won't, and we're not talking about everybody. That was my main point. When you're saying years, this is what happens, and I'm saying not everybody. It definitely happens, and I think to us, for you, we understand that it happens more than it doesn't happen, or whatever. Because we sit here and try to think of groups that have been together for long. It's really hard to think of. We got a couple, but it's more people break up for shit than stay together. I agree with that. I'm just saying, like, the environment this buddy was put up in, those 3 guys in the group or whatever, or 4 guys. The 4th guy a rapper too?
I'm not sure. Maybe.
The guy who drove? I don't know. So the 3 in the group, 4 in the group or whatever. They grew up in an environment where maybe they definitely weren't given the right tools to succeed or whatever. That includes the kind of confidence and just self-reliance, self-esteem that they can like not get super jealous super early on into a career and shoot each other. You know what I mean? So it happened to them, apparently. Jealousy took over some type of way, whether it was him to them to there, or if it was a drive-by and it was jealousy on some other shit.
You think it's a drive-by? Maybe?
I don't know. It's alleged, right? All of that shit's alleged.
According to ballistics. Yeah,
and I live in a society. I participate in society. I pay my taxes. I stand in line. So I'm gonna
and
decide to,
I'm sorry. Ballistics and cell phone records.
Okay. And so I live in a society where I participate and abide by laws and rules. So because of that, and only because of that, just because I want to participate in this world, I believe the cops, right? And what they found and the cell phones. But I still leave open for the fact that maybe there's some, because I understand that there's still in 2019 systemic prejudice and racism, and maybe the Miramar cops didn't want YNW Melly crew to represent Miramar, and they lit them up. Who knows, right? I didn't say that the cops shot them. I was just giving a scenario. It's all good. So I don't know, you know what I mean? But just because, again, I'm a participating citizen or whatever, so I'm just gonna say, yeah. I mean, I believe what the cops say.
I believe what the cops say because of the cell phone evidence. I mean, it's.
But again, I agree with that too. But it could have been like I can provide you with some cell phone evidence right now. You give me like 10 minutes, and I'll make a lot of stuff visually possible. Like I can make a lot of stuff happen. I can make receipts. You know what I mean? I can doctor a lot of that shit.
That's true.
Pop it in somewhere and say this happened. It's like, look at this line. This says this is where he went. He can say he didn't go there, but because this line says, and the cops say, for good reason that we believe this stuff. I'm just saying that all that shit could be fabricated in this day and age.
You're right, because it did take a few months for them to gather. I mean, he didn't get
you give me 2 months. February. You give me 2 months, and I give you a lot of evidence. If I want to fabricate some shit.
December, January, almost 3 months.
All it is a file in a computer. We're just believing them because they're cops.
Right.
That's how you got to operate. You know, that's how you got to operate in this world. Now, if
Yeah.
there's evidence that comes up,
Yeah, especially like, oh, these 2 people died. This guy's murder on my mind. Like all. So I'm saying
it's
is
very easy. It's very easy just to
very
say
easy.
that guy did it. And then on top of all of that stuff, he's a rapper and he's black. You know, and society will take care of the rest.
And things like that are going on because look at the people that killed XXXTentacion. So this is all the same area.
Jealousy, man.
People are out killing rappers.
Yeah, they're just out there killing folk.
It definitely. I mean, if he gets the right attorney, he might get off.
That's true too, man. If he didn't do it,
yeah.
But we don't know. We'll see, I guess. And if he gets, death penalty, man.
Death penalty.
I'm interested to know if there's another rapper out there that got put to death.
Huh.
Death penalty rappers.
How many rappers are on death row?
Well, that's not going to work because Death Row Records. It's not gonna.
Have been executed.
Executed. How many rappers have been executed? Because you can't even say like. List of murdered hip hop musicians. No, that's not going to work either. How do you search that? How many rappers are in jail?
Death penalty.
Waiting death penalty. Yeah. Death penalty. Death Row Records again.
List of
Second well-known rapper to face death penalty. So there's been one more. Right there. Down one. Right there.
One?
Yeah. So it's been the Mercury News.
Cool C.
Cool C.
Oh, you know what?
Pennsylvania.
Remember that rapper that was on America Most Wanted that shot his girlfriend's brother?
Also, what are we saying as far as rapper?
No, this guy was a famous rapper
Okay.
in New York, and he shot his girlfriend's brother. I can't for the life of me.
Is it Cool C? Because that's from Pennsylvania.
No, it's not Cool C.
Right. America's Most Wanted was a lyric on
TV show. It was a New York rapper.
NY rapper death penalty. Shot brother in car. Law. Yaki Khalifa. Accidentally shot once in the head by Napoleon's cousin.
That was another one, but I can't remember. He was on Vlad TV.
Oh, Vlad. Bankroll Fresh. DDG.
It was like a 90s rapper.
Ooh.
I can't remember, but if you guys can remember, it was a New York rapper. He was down with like Tretch from OPP, that song.
From OPP? You talking about from Naughty by Nature?
Yeah. Damn, I can't remember his name, man.
I don't know.
Yeah, he shot his brother. He shot his brother-in-law in the head because they got into an argument about something.
So did he do the death penalty?
No, he just went to jail for a lot of years and got out. He's out of jail.
Oh. No, we're talking about death penalty. I'm curious because it's Cool C is the only other one apparently. Whoever that is. That sounds like an old school name to me. Is the guy's name Cool C that you're talking about?
No, it's not Cool C. It's like
Shy Ali.
Chi Ali.
Chi Ali.
Chi Ali. That's who it was. So and he was on America's Most Wanted.
I heard that in a Jay-Z line or something one time.
Yeah, and he was on a run for a while, and it was all just a misunderstanding. It was just
He didn't shoot somebody in the head.
No, as far as like they got into it, it's like suck my dick, come down here, blah 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 blah. Instead of working it out, he went and handled it.
Nobody came to his house when he was little and knock on the door to say this, that, and the third. There were no programs in the lower income neighborhoods to mitigate the problems, the effects of living in a war zone that a lot of them need. There's another thing too, like when we go over to a place and claim it in the name of democracy, and then we blow the shit out of it, and we create all these little terrorists because they hate America. What does disenfranchising and making them move because of gentrification, putting into jails disproportionately, killing in the street disproportionately, not educating as effectively, what does that produce?
Yeah.
If the other thing produces terrorists, what does the other thing produce?
Oh, remember when Clinton was naming these kids from the street super predators?
Yeah.
Like,
didn't he did the whole 3 strikes thing, right?
I don't remember, but he definitely did. I think
Pretty sure
it was actually
was it Bush 1?
It was Reagan.
Reagan's 3 strikes?
Reagan came up with the minimum sentencing for crack. So
right.
If you got caught with cocaine, you would only go to jail for X amount of years. If you got caught with crack, which you need cocaine to make crack,
absolutely,
you would go to jail for 25
Yeah,
to life.
because it was a broke person's drug or whatever.
And those were racist laws because it only really affected poor African Americans,
tons of
Latinos,
laws,
and poor white people.
So many laws out there are just dumb racist. Yeah. But all those things that happen, what does it create? It creates an individual that, when faced with adversity and they have to defend themselves, allegedly, they possibly have to construct some sort of like elaborate, we got to drive-by situation instead of just calling the cops because 2 guys try to attack you. Or on the flip side of that, he was the jealous guy for some reason. I don't know. And he did something.
It's the whole chicken or egg, man. It's like, do we blame society or do we blame the person doing the fucked up shit?
Maybe we don't just stop blaming people and try to just fix it. Stop wasting time trying to blame people and try to fix it.
Yeah, but for now, just throw them in jail.
Well, I think part of the reason is because under the guise of trying to make the world, not guys, I'm sure there's tons of people trying to make the world safer in those lawyers and, cops and governors or whatever.
Justice for all.
There's probably a lot of people trying to do that.
A lot of for all are missing in there.
There's a lot of for all missing up, but that's been since since the Constitution was written, and it said all men are created equal except those niggas over there. You know what I mean? So it's been since like that.
Those earthworms, street cred.
So I think that's what people just need to like really think about when when they don't feel empathy for people that are in situations like that. Because I may not be as forgiving as you are in this instance, because I still believe in harsh penalties for people who kill people and blah, blah, blah. Even no matter what their upbringing was or whatever their problem is. I just think that on top of incarceration and other things, community service even, they should be getting mental health.
We definitely
help.
Need preventive measures.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. My vision for that is unrealistic of like going door to door to see what's up. But
something needs to happen.
Something needs to happen. I think me personally, I think what needs to happen is something similar that happens at a school that I know about where and I don't think this is legal necessarily, or I'm sure if it got out to the right people, it would be frowned upon. But in this school, they have black kids from a similar economic background and similar social status in life. So their housing looks the same and their parents do the same shit. They have a black teacher, and that teacher, this is elementary school, 3rd grade. That teacher tells them about the world and how they need to operate in the world. So not like a super nice old white teacher that tells them they're amazing and tells them that they can be president of the United States and helps them pass classes by giving them the grades and all that shit. Nah.
One-on-one.
It's another person
from that environment
that looks like them that says, listen, if you want to make it ahead, you got to do this, that, and the third. And your dad coming home drunk every day isn't your fault. And your mom not remembering your birthday isn't your fault. And no one gives a fuck that, obviously she's not cussing at the children, but nobody cares that you come from this place and the world's built to just tell them all these truths.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the program we need. Maybe there's a representative with some sort of training in mental health culture that are in the schools, in the elementary schools, that get paid.
Yeah.
Not a counselor, you know, not for like Bethany who goes snowboarding in Colorado or whatever.
Somebody that's equipped and maybe has a background.
Definitely has a background.
Maybe that has been through some of those.
Maybe that has been to prison.
But I think it's also activities like we get rid of, like, okay, yeah, we have basketball and we have football and all these things, but we need like some type of social curriculums, you know, credit, finance, you know, you like
check
money,
balancing and
let's
all that
make
shit.
money fun. You know what I mean? Like these, you like music, rap, well, you know, let's make this curriculum rap friendly.
Yeah, they tried that. I don't
we
know.
can bring Trini Elevate in to do a pull-up rap. Check out my homie Trini Elevate's pull-up rap.
I was telling my girlfriend, and I don't know how he feels about this, but I was saying this might be the best song I've ever heard from him. You know what I mean? And the reason,
we don't, to quote one of the bars from the song about pull-up bars, pull-ups have been around since ancient man.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't know exactly where they came from.
Yeah. And, you know, not necessarily like the best sounding song that he's ever had. Well, I like first of all, I like the song, right? But I think like that, the way he sounds when he raps to me is this kind of rap. Like,
Teacher rap.
I don't know what it would be called necessarily,
learning
where it's
rap.
not like, yo, the song's hot and he's talking about like whatever. I don't know how to describe it, but like I would want to hear more like instructional rap from him. I just would. I don't know how he feels about that. I hope he doesn't take offense to it. But that's just, I was looking at it and I'm like,
That shit was funny.
it's got a beginning, middle, and end. It's succinct. It keeps me engaged. Sort of like my shoulder blades need to be. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man. I do.
But a lot of times with these local, and I call them local just because I know them from around here, and other cats, it's just not. I can't connect with it. I can't get on the same level. Again, because it's the same shit over and over again. You know, Nico's good at like switching it up and making it totally different, so it's easy to like to get on his level with it. But a lot of these guys, man, you know, it's just nothing there to really like grab onto. For me, as a consumer, I'm just a consumer. I'm not an expert in rap, no shit like that. But like, if you want to know what the general consumer thinks, I feel like I'm the general consumer of hip hop and music in general. I'm not going to a ton of shows, but I go to some of shows. I don't spend a ton of money on local music, but I spend some money. I buy a little bit of merch, but I'm not like the guy on the front and I got your shirt on and I'm just like, yeah. I'm super realistic about what I like and don't like. And honestly, to me, that's the kind of got off topic, but that's kind of the best song I've ever heard from him.
Yeah, I mean, you got to just keep putting out stuff. And if that's, you know, what I've learned is that if it's still a labor of love, then do it because of that. If it starts to become anything else, then just.
And shit like that is great for like a school. You know what I mean? To teach something that's cool or whatever. And that's one of those things. That's one of those programs that we were talking about. Like, how do we got to get in there? I say all the time, like 6th, 7th, 8th grade is too late.
You got to put the candy. You got to put the message in the candy.
Oh yeah, that too. But I'm talking about 6th, 7th, and 8th grade is too late to be like woken people and like fixing kids. Like, fuck that. Like kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, elementary school. Teach them how to do pull-ups.
Melly was picking up guns at 4,
allegedly, or 9, depending on what story you want to believe.
Young.
It's super young. You know what I mean? But like the younger ones are more impressionable, and we can teach them about health and if you find a gun, what to do with it. And it's not a normal thing to find a gun under a, like, that's a lot of stuff. Like, it's normalized. Like, we got to tell these kids that this shit's not normal. This is wrong. This is bad.
Bro,
shouldn't happen.
You need a gun in your rap video.
Right.
If you don't have a gun in your rap video,
right,
what are you doing?
It's not normal. You know, you gotta break that down.
And money.
Because there's an argument against that. It's like, no, it is normal. That's how my hood is, dog. Come on to my hood. Like, that's how it is. And it's like, man, no, it's not how it should be. And that's the other problem is a lot of times people live in the future or want to live in the future. Like, I kind of want to live in the future sometimes, but I don't, you know.
Well, that's because you're a good person and you're trying to think about
I'm trying to
things optimistically.
But I also not call people out, but I tell people all the time, you don't live in the future. I got to sort of like do that too. Like bring myself back to what it is right now.
Well, yeah, because I'm dying for 6ix9ine to get out of jail and drop an album. I'm sorry. It's just part of my ignorance. You know what I mean? And that's another thing we have to work on society is that
nothing wrong with that, bro. I'll stand next to that. There's nothing wrong waiting for Cardi B to get out of jail so she can drop another mixtape, or fucking Gucci Mane to get out of his new workout to drop.
You want Gucci Mane to start doing drugs again?
No,
I think it would be a good thing for him.
I don't want anybody who had a problem to do drugs.
It sucks. He's positively moving forward in his life, but I think we're not going to be impressed until Gucci starts doing some crazy shit, like throwing bitches out. Maybe he gets, like, I don't know, a rainbow on his other cheek. You know, that's what we want. And it's sad, but this sucks. Not
all of us. 50% of us. 51% of us.
62.
Whoever, I go with that number of the people who voted for Trump.
Yeah.
So people who voted for Trump, the same amount of people want ignorant rap.
Mane?
Sure. I have no basis on that statistic. That's something I completely made up.
Oh, man. Damn, we spoke an hour and 52 minutes on YNW Melly. You know, write him. He's in jail. I'll try to figure out what jail he's at and leave it in the comments so you can write him. I think it's important to not forget people like this. You know what I mean? Like, it's all entertaining now while he's entertaining us, but if he is going to be in jail for life, you know, it's our job to also not forget about people like this, man. And we just got to realize we are a big house that we all live in, and it's called the globe. It's called the earth.
He said the globe.
You know, or it's called flat earth, whatever you want to think and call it. I don't care how you analyze it, but we all live here, and we got to start at least being a little more understanding about things.
All differences.
And not just throwing the door shut and locking it on people, you know.
Just because you wouldn't do something doesn't mean that somebody else grew up completely different from you and reacted the way that they knew how to react. Just remember that. Now, I'm still on this. If they're doing something fucked up, they should go to jail. That's still how I feel. But just don't necessarily write them off or whatever just because they did what they did. You never know why somebody does what they do.
You never know. You're not there, so it's hard to judge when you're not there. You can only speculate. Circumstances is a motherfucker.
True story.
My name is Phraydoe Peans.
I am still Chris Thompson.
This is Fresh
all
Produce
day.
Florida Media at Gmail is the email. Email us.
Gmail's the email.
Like, subscribe, share this shit with somebody. Thank you to Chris for commenting all the time on our comments.
What up, man?
Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to everybody else that's been subscribing, all 109 of you, I think.
Yeah, I think
we really appreciate you paying attention to us idiots every week. It's important to share and make stuff that makes you feel happy. So if this inspires you to create like we were inspired to create, do it. We love you. Gang signs.
Also special shout out to the people that are aggressively mean. I'd say the 1 out of 20 people that I message that are aggressively mean about getting messaged about our podcast. And special shout out to the people that get pissed off when they follow us and they get goddamn messages. Let me tell you how the internet works, people. If you follow us, you're going to get a message. And you know what else? If at the end of the day you unfollow us and then send me a screenshot about how you're not following me, I know you're a fucking child. You're a teenager. Go fucking read a book or something. All right. Later.
Oh, man.